Welcome to the Franciscan Hermitage here in Indianapolis, Indiana. We're celebrating the fourth Sunday in Ordinary Time. And you know, in this first reading, the prophet is speaking for God and saying, you know, I'm going to have this group of people who are humble and lowly, who will do no wrong and speak no lies, and there shall not be found in their mouth a deceitful tongue. It's a description of a perfect human being, you know, one who loves God and one who is living that ideal. Now, in the second reading, Paul is thanking the community for being that way. He says, for example, that God chose the weak of the world to shame the strong. And God chose the lowly and despised of this world to be the example for the world. And in the gospel, Jesus gets really direct when he starts giving out these Beatitudes, which are, of course, very famous. You know, my dear friends, when Paul is talking about those who are chosen are the foolish, and they're the ones that shame the wise. Well, you know, I'm going through the life of Francis again, and you know, Francis was considered to be really insane, leading his father's affluent life and living the gospel as he saw the gospel. He lived with nothing, and the whole purpose of his life was to preach to the people so that their lives would reflect the divine that is in them. And the important people at the time of St. Francis, even leadership in the church, were not the ones that were carrying the truth, but Francis, who was a nobody, is the one who changed the direction of the Western world. One man. You know, my dear friends, that's what you and I are called to do. We're called to be that person of Jesus, or the person of Francis, helping people to understand that fullness of life comes in the spirit world. And you know, I was thinking in terms of a practical approach to helping each other in this process. You know, all of us are really not all that important in the world. But we're all called to do what God wants us to do. We're all unique. And I think sometimes we forget how important we are in God's eyes. Building a self-image is knowing the truth about who you are as God made you. So I thought of this exercise, and I wanted to do the exercise myself before I was preaching to you in the Sunday Mass. I got together with my associate Lulu, and I asked her if uh, she would tell me 10 things that she knew that were positive about me, and I would do the same for her. And while we had no difficulty at all making a list of 10 positive items that we found in each other, it just continued to go on and on. And by the time we got finished, we started to be talking about some of the things that we were getting off of the internet that helped us, and especially people who were sending jokes to help make us laugh and to have fun. And before the interaction was over with, we were laughing and carrying on and having a really good time, paying attention to the good that we see in others and the good that we see in ourselves. You know, I'm going to suggest that you try this little exercise out. Pick out somebody in your acquaintance, whether that's family or whether it's a friend, and ask if they will go through this little exercise. They telling you 10 things that they know that are good about you, and you telling them 10 things that you know about them that are good. You know, we can support each other this way. What's going to happen is you will find that the other person has traits that are completely different than yours, and we can celebrate that difference without being intimidated. And that's the whole purpose of the Franciscan movement. Accepting people where they are, understanding that everyone is unique, and learn how to live in unity and diversity. See what you can do about using this little exercise to help you understand the wonderful things that God has done for you and the wonderful things that God has done for others. It'll brighten your life, and you'll make our world a better place. Remember, you are a powerful spiritual being, and your love makes the difference. Have a wonderful week. God bless.